What's up, everybody? Joel here, aka Pyro. Today I am reviewing a new ska album. This one is by the Abruptors, and the album title is Everything You Know Is Wrong. The Abruptors are a ska outfit from Buffalo, New York. This is their third album that they've released. The prior two were released on Asian Man Records, as is this new one. And it's been about 8.5 years since they've dropped their first EP and came out onto the scene. Let's break down what my thoughts were on the tracks. So track number 1, Such a Mess. This chorus is an absolute banger, really nice. I love the up-tempo, the horns that are lightly laced in, and then Tony Lamantia's, apologies if I'm not pronouncing that right, kind of shouty melody brings in this like story, it like encaptures this story of human loss through growth, whether it is like you're very dependent on a significant other or someone you really care about, and then they're no longer there and you're stuck kind of floundering, and realizing that they were kind of your support system and you don't really know how to support yourself. That's the kind of vibe I get here lyrically, and kind of showcases the importance of independence to some extent. But such a fun track to start the album off with. Great choice for a single as well. This one's a lot of fun. So on track number 2, we have the co-vocalist Mike Garassi. Again, apologies if I butchered the name, on vocals. And this one's a little bit more of a straightforward ska tune. It's fun, but it is a little stereotypical of the genre. The melodies here, especially in the chorus area, kind of remind me of something I probably would have heard from a reggae rock outfit, maybe something like Ballyhoo or Tropodelic, and not in like an outright copying way by any means, but just kind of something I got the gist of. Lyrically, it's pretty straightforward. It's about not being happy not being happy with where you are mentally and kind of running from yourself. On track number 3, we have Mazes, and here I got to really say I love the drums. They're tight, they're methodical. There's a nice balance here, like the rawness. It doesn't it's not too raw, it's not too overproduced, and they just bring a nice sound to the table that really complements everything else here. And Tony's vocals are right at home in this melody, and you really do feel like you're in a mental maze here. Like that's the vibe that it kind of gives off. And she nails the slowdowns. She like does great with the up tempos. I like the whole flow of this tune. I will say the voicemail part was a little clunky and awkward coming in to the song, and it kind of takes you off balance the first couple times you hear it. I think I would have gone with something a little bit more subtle and not so abrasive on entry, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. It's just kind of like shocking a little bit. I would have expected something more like Backstreet Boys, The Call, you know, when that voicemail hits in, and it's like clear that it's a voice call, but it's not too abrupt. That being said, I don't think it takes that much away from the song. It was just kind of shocking to me. And here we have track number 4, Concept of Heart. And I got to say here, I'm enjoying this. Every other track, we have a vocalist swap up going on, which really, really helps me to not get bored through this listen. And that being said, I did like this track, but the problem I had was with the chorus. The whoa ho ho is a little cliche in this one. And it is fun, though. It is. Again, this one's exploring human emotions, and I did love the group vocals that pop in towards the center of the song. They really help make things pop for me. And yeah, not bad at all. And then on track number 5, we have St. Louis. I love the keyboard intro. Mike's vocals here really pop for me. They're a little less poppy sounding, and there's like a certain raw like quality that is brought to the table here with his vocals, and I really appreciated that. Some fantastic backing vocals as well from Tony. And this is a blast. This is a really good choice for a single. I'm glad they chose this. Both this and the other single, track 1, Such a Mess, are just great choices for singles. And track number 6, this just in. This kind of is like poking fun at the media machine, right? False narratives, biased. I think it also, though, nails down that you have to ignore this negativity and just try your best to be a ray of positive influence. Let's put it that way. Track number 7, we'll keep it simple. This is a celebration of individuality. On top of that, there's a great co-vocalist effort here. Really enjoyed this. And at track number 8, we have What Do You Want Me to Do? Horns on the intro. I like the horns, kind of a chill ska delivery, if you will. And another co-vocalist effort. And I like that they kept the kind of co-vocalist setup for later in the album. Again, I think this is just recognizing that you don't want your album to be boring, and the way they placed each of these tracks, Tony, Mike, Tony, Mike, Tony, Mike, boom. Now we're going to hit you with some co-vocalist efforts to keep things fresh. And they kind of edged it in to start with, like with the tracks prior to this, they had some group vocals popping in the background, but they really weren't enough to say, hey, this is a co-vocalist effort. This is a, me backing you up and making sure this sounds good, maybe with some group vocals or whatnot. And this is nice. This latter half of the album, it's adding a little bit of a spice for me. Track number 9, nothing crazy. We have a straightforward ska song. It's pleasant. The lyrical content is nice here as well. So on track number 10, we have Supposed to Be, and I think this really does a good job of showcasing a really human feeling of just being lost, not feeling like you belong, not feeling like you're doing what you need to be doing, that big majority of us struggle to kind of cope with. And it also kind of comes maybe at the realization of like the people that you looked up to all your life. You kind of realize that they don't even know what's going on. And it kind of throws you into this lost feeling. And I think this song does a really good job of showcasing that feeling and talking about it as well. And then we have All I Have at the end, a nice chill ska ditty on the outro. A nice little way to end it. Maybe perhaps a little boring as an outro, but it's not upsetting. It's a really good vibe. Yeah, I like this ending. Rating wise, I think I'm going to go with a flat 6 here. This is really enjoyable. A majority of this album goes into a playlist for me, and I will be jamming it quite a bit. Probably a lot more coming towards that spring or summer feeling, because this kind of music really pops for me around that time, especially when you get, I think this would be really good for those days where I get weird bluesy feel, like in spring and summer, it's bright outside, you should be positive, and sometimes you just get kind of melancholy. And I feel like this album would do a really good job of jogging you out of that melancholy during those spring and summer months. But honestly, people that really enjoy this really enjoy ska. You're going to listen to this year round. You're going to enjoy it. It's a solid record. Shout out to the Abruptors. And going forward, I think the only thing I would have liked to see, like, this album played it really safe, in my opinion, instrumentally. They popped off. They did a really good job. Like the keyboard was just constantly keeping me intrigued. But there was a few times where I felt like the keyboard or maybe a guitar was going to pop off, and it just kind of stayed safely within its box. And I feel that maybe having one track where you just go hard instrumentally could add a little flavor to the album. But that's, again, personal preference. And I do think it's a solid album,